husband got a paternity test on our daughter, and it came back negative, but I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants to divorce. What do? I'm 29 years old and my husband is 31 years old. We have a 5-year-old daughter. But this morning, my husband confronted me with the shocking accusation that our daughter isn't biologically his based on a failed paternity test. The accusation is unfounded because I have never cheated on him. Since that moment, I haven't been able to stop crying. I am devastated and bewildered because I never stayed from our marriage vows. My husband and I have been together since college. He is the love of my life. He's always been so kind and handsome. While I have been with 2 other people, it was before we got together, and there is no one else who could possibly be the father of our daughter. The result was negative, which he took as proof of my infidelity. But this is impossible. I have never strayed from our marriage. We were married and actively trying to conceive when I became pregnant. I would never ever cheat on him. I don't know why he decided to take that test, but it came back negative, and now he doubts he's our daughter's father. It's true that I've been with others before him, but that was well in the past, before our life together began, and certainly before 2880, our daughter was conceived. We were happily married and trying for a baby when I became pregnant. There's no one else who could be her father. I am at a loss for how to convince him that the test was faulty. I don't understand what prompted him to take this paternity test, but its results have shattered the peace of our home. How do I convince him of its inaccuracy? When the science he trusts tells him otherwise, this fear is consuming me in recent months. He has become a completely different person from the man I married. He has grown cold and suspicious, often demanding to see my phone without explaining why initially I showed him my phone. But after repeated demands, I told him I wouldn't comply unless he gave me a reason. His behavior has also changed towards our daughter. He has become distant and spends hours secluded in his office. I have no idea what he's doing there this morning. He accused me of infidelity, saying he took the test after realizing our daughter's brown eyes couldn't come from us, as we both have blue eyes. He then demanded that I leave the house. I refused to leave, so he locked me out of our bedroom. Now I'm in my daughter's room feeling terrified and unsure of what to do next. Rebuilding our relationship will require patience, understanding, and a lot of hard work. But I am committed to making things right. I cannot let this misunderstanding tear apart what we have spent years building. My priority is to protect our daughter from the fallout and repair the bond with the man who, despite everything, remains the love of my life. What should do at it as I sit here reflecting on the tumultuous events of today? My heart is heavy with a mixture of fear and hope. This morning's confrontation with my husband about the paternity of our daughter was a shock that left me reeling. He accused me of infidelity based on a paternity test result that claimed he was not our daughter's biological father. I know this isn't true. I have never been unfaithful, and I need to find a way to prove my innocence and restore the trust in our mirage marriage. The specific advice I'm seeking is how to demonstrate my innocence convincingly, and what steps I can take to ensure our relationship survives this ordeal. My primary goal is to keep our family together, no matter the cost. After hours of distress, my husband finally emerged from our bedroom, and we managed to have a brief conversation. I reiterated my fidelity, emphasizing that I had never cheated on him in an attempt to be proactive. I began to discuss a list of additional tests I wanted to undergo to confirm the faulty nature of the initial test. However, he was not ready to delve into those details, asking to postpone our discussion until tomorrow. Despite the strained atmosphere, he reassured me that his love for our daughter remains unchanged and that he would not bar me from our house or bedroom. At the end of our conversation, I asked him for a hug, which he gave, but my anxiety about convincing him of the truth lingers moving forward. I know that simply stating my innocence is not enough. I must be strategic and empathetic in handling this delicate situation. Firstly, I plan to arrange for a second paternity test through a different, highly reputable laboratory to ensure the accuracy of the results. This step is crucial, not only to prove my fidelity, but also to eliminate any doubts about our daughter's lineage. Secondly, I need to consider the emotional toll the situation has taken on my husband. His sudden change in behavior and the development of suspicion could be symptoms of deeper issues. Perhaps the stress of fatherhood or latent insecurities have surfaced in harmful ways. I will suggest couples therapy as a safe space for us to explore these feelings with a professional. It will also demonstrate my commitment to repairing our relationship and understanding his fears. In the meantime, maintaining open and honest communication is vital. I plan to encourage my husband to express his fears and doubts, promising to listen without judgment. This approach will hopefully foster empathy and understanding between us. I also recognize the importance of patience and compassion. During this time, being a good wife in this situation means supporting my husband's emotional needs. Even as I deal with my own turmoil, I will make an effort to be more attentive, to spend quality time together, and to reassure him of my love and commitment to our family as we prepare for our detailed conversation tomorrow. I am gathering all possible evidence and information that supports my case. This includes medical records, timelines, and potential witnesses like close friends or family who can vouch for my character and our relationship's history. In essence, proving my innocence is not just about presenting factual evidence, but also about rebuilding the trust and intimacy that seemed to have frayed in our marriage. I am committed to doing whatever it takes to heal our relationship and restore our family's harmony. My hope is that through open dialogue, professional guidance, and a commitment to understanding each other's perspectives, we can overcome this challenge and emerge stronger as a couple. Update. Hi, everyone. First off, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who reached out after my original post. The overwhelming amount of attention it received was more than I could have ever anticipated, and while it was hard to respond to everyone, I greatly appreciate the support and advice that I crafted a list of plans and additional tests to help us resolve this bewildering situation. Initially, my husband was understandably distrustful. The tension between us was palpable, and his skepticism hurt deeply. However, he recently apologized for his reactions and assured me that he would never attempt to kick me out of our home. He did express in no uncertain terms that if further tests showed I had cheated, he would take drastic actions, or as he put it, go scorched earth. This fear loomed large over us as we awaited the results. Initially, my husband was understandably distrustful. The tension between us was palpable, and his skepticism hurt deeply. However, he recently apologized for his reactions and assured me that he would never attempt to kick me out of our home. He did express in no uncertain terms that if further tests showed I had cheated, he would take drastic actions, or as he put it, go scorched earth. This fear loomed large over us as we awaited the results. We proceeded with a series of tests, including blood paternity tests for both him, myself, and our daughter. Additionally, we had scheduled an appointment with a chimerism specialist, which was later canceled because of an unforeseen and shocking revelation. Chimerism specialist in this sentence refers to a specialist in chimerism. Venic chimerism, or chimerism, is a biological phenomenon in which an organism contains cells with two different genes in the case of humans and animals. This means that an individual is created from two or more embryos, which may include possessing blood cells of different blood types and more subtle changes in form phenotype. This indicator is usually invisible to the naked eye. However, it has been detected during the process of proving paternity, and experts specializing in chimerism will help analyze, understand, and provide solutions to this problem. As some of you astutely guessed, it turns out that our daughter is not biologically mine either. We are stunned a police officer came to our house to take our statements, and we are now in the process of suing the hospital where I gave birth. The thought of not knowing what happened to my biological daughter is terrifying. Since this discovery, my husband and I have been trying to support each other through this upheaval. Our relationship, though strained, has found new grounding in this shared crisis. Despite the rekindled trust and support between us, my whole world feels like it has been turned upside down. I found solace in staying close to our daughter, sleeping in her room, clinging to the bond we've built over the years, even as I'm haunted by the fear that she might be taken from us. Yet there's a part of me desperate to know if my biological daughter is safe. And while our daughter remains unaware of the specifics of the situation, and we've been doing everything possible to keep this quiet, the last thing we want is for this to turn into a public scandal. I don't want people who know us to look at her differently. She deserves better than that. She's such a good kid, and she's not some spectacle to be gawked at. The possibility of finding her biological family looms large if by some chance we do. I can't even begin to imagine how we will navigate such a complex situation. Part of me dreams of a scenario where we could all live together in a larger home, blending our families harmoniously. However, I'm painfully aware of the financial and emotional challenges such an arrangement would entail, not to mention whether it's even feasible or if the other family would be amenable to it. This whole situation is crazy. I don't know anyone else who's been in a situation like this. I mean, Are there support groups for parents of kids who got mixed up? I Googled and nothing came up. Literally all I'm getting are tabloid articles from trashy magazines that slap the faces of innocent kids on the same pages as celebrity sex scandals and fiction. I've tried looking for support groups for parents in sim situations, but my searches have come up empty. All I find are sensationalized tabloid stories, which only add to the frustration and helplessness. I feel, how do we even begin to explain this to our daughter? The timing needs to be carefully considered. She's too young to keep such a heavy secret, and if told prematurely, it could inadvertently become public knowledge through schoolyard conversations. This ordeal has left me questioning what I could have possibly done to deserve such a fate. Yet through it all, the support for my husband and the love for our daughter keep me anchored. I am determined to resolve this. No matter how daunting the path may seem, thank you again for your ongoing support. It means the world to us during this incredibly difficult time. But I don't know what I ever did to deserve this additional. My husband saw my post. Hello? Everyone, first, I need to share something rather unexpected that's added another layer to our already complicated situation. A YouTuber named Mark, Narrations, who my husband follows, decided to feature my original post on his channel. Naturally, my husband recognized our story immediately. How could he not? It's not exactly a common scenario. After hearing our private turmoil narrated for all to hear, curiosity led him to my account page, where he stumbled upon numerous comments that were far from flattering about him. Understandably hurt, he has asked for a chance to share his perspective here, hoping it might clarify things and perhaps reduce the backlash he's been facing. Please, let's give him that chance and approach his words with kindness now from my husband. I know many of you have been through the ringer of self-doubt and seen where that dark path can lead. It's hardly a place of logic or reason, especially not when you have swathes of the internet echoing the worst about your life, that your wife is cheating, plotting to take everything from you, and has never loved you. It's even tougher when you've always felt a bit unworthy, like she's too good for you, which only feeds into every doubt. The descent began with I gained weight, felt depressed, and I stopped recognizing myself. Meanwhile, my wife remained vibrant, seemingly unscathed by the chaos around us. I fear that she regretted her choice in being with me. Then I fell into some online communities that weren't exactly uplifting places, brimming with stories of betrayal and loss. When someone shared how a child's differing eye color led to uncovering an affair, it struck a nerve. I panicked, fearing the worst about our daughter's brown eyes versus our blue. The online consensus was clear and dire: she was cheating. I made a post about my fears and was advised to stealthily confirm my suspicions through a paternity test, cautioning that confronting her could lead her to cover TR or gain an upper hand in an imagined divorce. When the test came back stating I wasn't the father, I was devastated. I didn't want to believe it, but the confirmation of a second test broke me. My actions were driven by pain and fear. I didn't want to end up like so many men I read about. If you've ever been cheated on, you know what it feels like. When my wife denied it, I got angrier. I just wanted her to leave. I didn't want to go through what everyone seemed to think was going to happen. I didn't want to lose custody of my kid. I didn't want to lose my house. I was scared and angry, and I wanted the truth. I felt like if she couldn't even be honest, there was no getting past this. I took a few hours to calm down. I pushed her away because I couldn't bear the thought of going through what seemed like an inevitable loss of my family and home. When she approached me later with a rational plan for more tests, I realized how far I had let my fear drive me. I'm not trying to excuse my behavior. I know it caused immense pain. I snapped under pressure, under the weight of a narrative I constructed from online voices and my insecurities, but learning our daughter might not be biologically related to either of us was never a scenario I had considered. This revelation has been as shocking to me as it has been to her, and it's me again, back to close this out. I want to underscore that my husband isn't the monster some have made him out to be. He isn't also an abuser. He's a man who found himself lost in a sea of his darkest thoughts and fears, amplified by voices from hidden corners of the internet. And while he refers to himself as having gotten fat, that's not the fact I see. I do not agree that he's fat. I love this man very much and have for ages, and we are not going to let this situation break our marriage in order to prevent this experience from destroying the life we've created. We are navigating these turbulent waters together. We are incredibly appreciative of your help and guidance, which has been essential. We are grateful for your support in preserving our family, which is what really counts. Thank you to everyone for all your help from my perspective on everything. Having an historic Korean drama tells the story of a birth exchange. It Can Con aired two girls, one from an affluent family and the other from a destitute one at the time, and perhaps later it became well known outside of Korea. It was quite popular. Additionally, two real newborn girls who were switched at birth are the subject of an episode of This American Life, aside from the fact that it is a true event. The main distinction is that one of the families was aware that the babies had been switched, but chose to remain silent. Initially, he didn't share his fears with his wife, choosing instead to conduct the paternity test. Secretly, this approach suggested by online commentators was supposed to protect him, but only ended up driving a wedge between them when the results suggested he was not the biological father. His actions were guided by the fear of losing his family and assets, a common theme in the stories he was exposed to. Online, his behavior included distancing himself from his wife and even locking her out of their bedroom actions that were drastic and almost reflexive. Given his mental state at the time, the emotional toll on the wife was significant, having to defend her fidelity while also dealing with the shocking claims about their daughter's fraternity. The situation took a turn when it was revealed that their daughter might not be biologically related to either of them, suggesting a mix-up at the hospital. This new revelation shifted the narrative from infidelity to a tragic error, possibly involving switched babies at birth. Yes, it is the main problem. They want to keep the child you raised and desire their biological child. I get that, but is it really not possible for them to have both? Moving them in was the best option. The girls have to have the freedom to come and go. It covered a plethora of other topics as well. Daphne's biological parents' ignorance about the deaf community. It was difficult for Daphne to identify because although genetically not Puerto Rican, she was raised as one. I was told as a child that I was too gypsy to be white, but too white to be gypsy. So it was obviously related. The only one who truly recognizes when BA is struggling is Daphne, because she needs to practically beg for attention the way they argue in the beginning until it becomes clear that nobody else understands how EST strange they feel as a result of everything. The assigning of blame, in addition to blaming them for not realizing Beta wasn't theirs. BA's biological mother is also held accountable for Daphne's deafness due to meningitis as a toddler, and really shows the journey they took together to become one big family that does encourage the girls to speak to whichever of the four parents they need in that moment, instead of feeling like they're playing favorites and betraying the others. His case underlines the dangers of letting fear and external advice dictate one's actions without direct communication. The husband's initial failure to discuss his insecurities and fears openly with his wife exacerbated the situation, demonstrating how crucial transparency and trust are in a relationship. The couple's decision to confront the issue together, seeking further tests and legal advice, shows a pathway to recovering and rebuilding their relationship, highlighting the importance of unity in facing life's unexpected challenges. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.